Folks, Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again this evening for joining us. It's a wonderful, wonderful Friday afternoon. We say thank you, thank you. Let's get it rocking very quickly here. We say thank you very much for joining us this evening. This is a wonderful, wonderful show. We're going to have to make our best here this evening. Yes. It's a Gisi song, folks, and that's a wonderful, wonderful Gisi song. Our brothers and sisters from the Gisi land were able to provide us some entertainment here this evening. It's a gospel, by the way. It's a gospel, wonderful gospel. Okay, things that cannot be done in heaven, and that's the stuff the folks, the lady was naming over there. So we want to thank all of you again for joining us this evening. It's a wonderful, wonderful program. As usual, I want to welcome all of you here on LIBERIA Public Radio. This is a platform where we do not engage each other negatively. Here on the LIBERIA platform, we are collaborating with people we know. Folks, Samson, too. I'm gonna be frank with you again tonight. I'm gonna give you some wonderful, wonderful thing again tonight, and I hope that you will be able to understand some of the things that I'm saying. It is not like we have monopolies over the ideas. No, far from it. In fact, our ideas are not the ideas that we expect everyone to accept. I'd expect you to say no, reject my idea as much as possible. However, all that I ask is that you give us the opportunity to express our ideas, and at the same time, we will let you disagree with us vehemently. There's no question. I don't expect you to agree with us, but let us respect the interaction. Let us respect those of us that decide to engage each other, because that's where we understand exactly what the problem is. Folks, it's been a little rocky situation there in Liberia lately. And so we will go ahead as usual, again, I want to thank Dr. Weir. Folks, that's Dr. Weir Sampson too on the other side moving his hand saying hi to everybody. Dr. Weir, folks. Once again I want to thank the Liberian people and thank Dr. Weir for last week. And I think Dr. Weir's speech was wonderful. What I was going to do for you tonight is what I was going to do down until I find out that this laptop does not have that. So I will try and set up the other laptop that has the free how do you call it, the free teleprompter, because I'm still on that teleprompter business, folks. I'm not gonna let it go, because I think I will beat it to death, so that when we are coming back on again next time, the people will provide some sort of a platform where the young man going to be able to read to us and look at us in our eyes and then make the faces and make sure that he's not looking down. And I will beat that stuff to death. There's a saying back home. There's a gentleman, I'm not going to call his name now. He was talking about building roads, construction of roads. But in our crown dialect, you don't say construction. There's no such thing as construction. You say, "Amu babla," I will beat the road. So the guy get up and say, "My fellow citizen, there's we Granadians and we here in the Boston District area, we can do better. I will help you to beat the road. I will beat the road from him from total to and everybody like, what road you gonna be beating again, my brother?" So I hope I don't make that kind of mistake, telling you that I'm gonna beat the road, folks. One of the reasons why I really love this pro agenda that is being put forward by Dr. Weir and his people is the fact that they have the road network business, and Dr. Weir is very serious about that. And I will continue to send that stuff out, because it's something that is very dear to my heart as well. Not only to me, folks. Let us be honest. If you believe in the road network and you have a road in any country, I strongly believe any country that have a decent road network, you don't have to have these 4-lane highway, overcrossing, honor crossing, all the kinds of stuff. No, just a decent highway that perhaps will give you some standard. You first of all, if you're gonna have a decent highway, you must have sight distance. It's the most critical one on roadway business. Sight distance, because you have to see where you're going. Okay, so the stopping sight distance, the passing sight, those are things you can do. Those they're not that critical. Safety, they're critical, but total road, they're not that critical. Okay, but you must provide sight distance. In other words, if you're bending a curve, you should be able to see what in front of you at a certain distance. So you don't put the hillside. You've tried to bend around the hillside, so that by the time you get bending, you can't even see. And in the process of doing that, you have to provide super elevate. Well, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not talking about engineer here tonight. Forget it. I'm not going to go into that. But I'm just telling you. So Dr. Weir and his people continue to talk about road, and I'm very much involved in that. I mean, not involved. I'm very much interested in that, because that's for me. If you have a decent road network all over Liberia, you can build a very cheap, decent road network. You don't have to have asphalt, what our people call quota bicon. You have what they call chip and seal. Those of you that in some of the, especially in the East Coast, those of you that work in other areas far from the city, you will find out going to some of the townships, they don't use asphalt. They use what they call chip and seal, and their roads are clean, durable. Chip and seal is not that difficult to do. It becomes much more difficult if you want to do chip and seal in the city, because then you're going to have to, if you're doing it in the city, you're going to have to match some of the grinding area. But if you're doing it in places like Liberia, chip and seal for you is the way to go, because chip and seal will also give you positive drainage, no question asked. But those are kinds of stuff that I think the government need to go into. And I think the fact that Dr. Weir is into that, I'm also into. And so I will continue to promote the pro agenda. because I cannot separate just the role section of the pro-poor agenda and say this is what I want to talk about. If I'm going to take anything out of the pro-poor agenda, I have to accept all of it. And those that are critical, those that are perhaps are not something that I want to deal with, I'll point that out in the pro-poor agenda as well. So we will continue to do that. And now, Dr. Weir has given me the platform recently to jump a place where I can pivot from one position to another, and I'm very good at that. Let's get it going, folks. But before I keep going here, let me go on show you Dr. Weir during the election. And this is why I'm so interested in this Dr. Weir business, okay, folks? Because to have a young man, who is not that old, to be honest with you, and concentrate, somebody who will concentrate on the road network of the Republic of Liberia. And this is one of the reasons why I continue to think that he's very interested in this road business. Because when he was campaigning, he walked the footsteps of his brothers and sisters. Let's watch. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio.
Just make sure you do that same thing for you can hold. That will hold the stage. I don't need show the word, you must stay. What kind of junior not there before? No, I beg you.
There you have it. Dr. Weir walking in the mud. I was going to show you two videos here today, but for some reason, I forgot to put it up. I just give it to you as it is, folks. I'm not going to lie or anything, because I think if I sit there and say, oh, I was going to bring you the video, but I couldn't find it, it's a lie. I forgot. Okay? So please forgive me on that. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. I'll talk about the video anyway. I'll talk about the video. But before I do that, there are a few things I want people to understand here this evening. It's a very serious business, what we're doing here. It's a very serious business. We're trying to give you guys information and also give you opportunity to express yourself. People are hurting all over the country. There's no question asked. So we can't pretend to come here and be laughing and stuff like that. We laugh because you can't cry about it. But at the same time, we must be able to have the clear understanding that our brothers and sisters are not doing that well back home. Let's get that straight. So, folks, there are two things I want to talk about tonight. One is to, you know, since I like, if I make a mistake, I eat crow before you. If I'm right, I like to do this. I pat myself on the back as well. If you remember, and I'm not going to put picture that, I will just talk about it. I'm not going to put any picture because I don't want to glorify that. If you remember, during the, before the protest was even announced, they have a coalition, opposition coalition. And I told you, even though my party, I haven't been kicked out of Liberty Party, that's for sure. I'm still a Liberty Party member, USA, that is. Okay, so I until they kick me out, I'm still a member, and I'm not gonna leave either. Okay, so but anyway, when they got together, remember the three party, Liberty Party, Bernard Ure, Councilor Bronsky, Honorable Bernard Ure, Vice President Waka, and Honorable Cummings, when they got together, they formed this coalition, and I started laughing. I started laughing, and I even made a show, and I was laughing about that because I didn't think it was serious. It wasn't for me. It wasn't serious because you could not form a coalition during an election. Every one of you wanted to be president during an election, and immediately after the election was done, now you want to come out. Now you form a coalition, okay? And the coalition now is people are saying, okay, we're gonna get together and have our team. The question that I was asking myself at the time was, which one of those political leader would take the back seat to the other? I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe, folks. And so I thought it was very interesting because I didn't think it was going to go far enough. I didn't think they can even survive if there was an election. Then the protest issue came around. When the protest issue came around, we were all excited. In an excitement from all of us, because we thought perhaps this is the time for Liberia. Who's going to be against Liberian trying to protest about something? One like me, who has been involved in one of those before, the 79, terrible stuff. Compared to this, it was terrible. So who am I to say no? You can't. So I was excited, but in an excitement, I spoke again. And I asked, see, this is the time that I pat myself on the back. Because these things, if you go back and look at my video, you will say, yes, Samson Toe said that. I asked Dr. Weir, engage these people. Engage these people because they're not standing on a solid platform. I knew that. I knew they were not standing on a solid platform. The only platform, the only thread that was holding them together is the threat of opposition to whatever it is that they're trying to get to Dr. Weir about. However, underneath, we all understood that these are people that are coming from different directions. They are not in line politically. And so I knew that it was going to be difficult. Once that single thing or single thread, or whatever it is that they were fighting for, once that particular issue has been achieved, the fragmented they was going to start separating, going to scatter because they have nothing in common, folks. And I thought to myself, and I used to say that, Dr. Weir, you need to engage these people. Engage them in a way. Not so much of saying I want to be ahead of people who wants to demonstrate against me. No. But you help to educate Liberians. I think I stated that several times. You help to educate Liberians. Because if you help to educate Liberians, some of the protesters, some of the organizers will feel like, well, why is that man trying to cooperate with us? I don't like it. Something in it. And then immediately, you will find out that these people will not even hold together. Because if you were to go in and say, how can we help you? We understand you guys want to demonstrate, that's fine. But how do we help you to have that information passed on to the Liberian? You start inviting these people to ELBC, to even the press conferences. Okay, the protester have a press conference. The government going to provide the means for them to express themselves. You will find out very quickly that these people are not even together. And I knew that. I stated that. I stated that publicly. Okay? Because here is what happened. And I'm not going to characterize them because these are our brothers and sisters. I'm not going to characterize them other than being a sincere Liberians. But you have to understand this. Politics is about interest. There's no question asked. We all know that. But if you have a diverse interest that is not converging on anything except to say we want certain people to leave, it wasn't solid. There was no solid foundation. And many Liberians didn't understand that. There are those among the protesters who genuinely believe to engage the government in a positive way so that the government will be able to understand that they are not doing it based on jealousy or envious. And then that way perhaps the government will listen to them and implement some of the things that they wanted in our country. But you have people that was part of that group that cuss every day. You have people that were part of that group that would go up and down, say Dr. Weah can never be president, even though he was elected. And you expect a group, that kinds of group, to survive? And you expect that kinds of group to hold? I don't think so. And so here we have the protest is over. They are giving Dr. Weah their grievances, whatever, and they're giving him up to 1 month. The 1 month it's not even done yet. If you go now, I bet you if you go on Facebook, almost Dallas Dillon's, it's explaining. Instead of running campaign, being on the offensive, he's now back on defensive, trying to explain certain things. And in politics, once you start explaining, you're done. I still think that Dallas Dillon going to win, by the way. But why will you even have to come and explain about God and what have you? Because this is Samson too again, folks. I'm serious about this. Because you didn't look at the people who were among you. You people decided to say, enemy of my friend is my enemy, and you know what they say. So you have nothing in common except that one person. So that if that issue is resolved, you and that person can't get along because you were never on the same page from the beginning. So Dallas Dillon today was explaining, people accusing him of having a new car. If these people were to be together from day one and understood exactly what was happening, first thing they would do is, okay, this is who we are. We know each other. We know what kind of spoon you get in your house because we will be eating from each other. We know what kind of couch you get in your house because we will be visiting each other. So there is no way that after this is done, that I, Samson, too, will accuse you of having a rare couch in your house when I know very well I've been sitting on a brown couch all along. But if I've never even been to your house, and for some reason something happened, hey, okay, well, you got rare couch in the house. Because you don't know me. I don't know you. We only got together based on one common thread. And that thread, one is broken. We have issue. And this is how Liberians have always operated. And this is why we always have issues. Liberians are the most, for me, Liberians are the most hard workers from Africa that I know. However, Liberians have always made a mistake of building individual. It can be one or two individuals. Instead of building an institution. This is example of that again. And I hope people like Heron Custer, who's hopefully will be president one of these days, I hope he can learn from this. That if you want to do these things, you build an institution. Because an institution, when it is built, it stands on solid ground. Because you're not the only person that is within that institution. Ideas have been formulated. Ideas have been put together to let that institution stand. The institution is not standing on one man, two man shows. And this is exactly what the protest, the Patriots had. You have people who were senators who were among there. And if you were to put these people on seriously, have a press conference, have an interview with them, why did you do this? Do you understand this other person? None. They will tell you, well, we all we wanted was for the government to understand. For the government to understand you, you're going to bring almost millions or whatever you want to call it. They were huge. But it wasn't standing on a foundation, folks. And that's why from day one, I have asked Dr. Weah to not to challenge the group in a sense, but to engage them. To engage them and say what this group is about. But instead, just like the Patriot themselves, CDC and Sedition decided to build also an individual, not an institution. And because they are individuals within CDC or the George Weah-led government that have nothing to offer, I keep saying this thing. And since they have nothing to offer, and this is not an institution, it is built around an individual. We make the individual happy, he will like us. Because there's nobody in there going to challenge us if the individual likes me. How are you going to challenge me? The individual that will prop out, he likes me. You think you're going to challenge me? It's not possible. But if you have an institution, folks, if I'm making things up, please say so. If it's not correct, please say so. You can text. If you build an institution, the institution going to weed out those who have coming into the institution for their own service gain. It will be difficult. They will pass by. Some will pass. Don't get me wrong. But once they get in, they will quickly be discovered for who they are. And that's what a good institution will do for you. But we Liberians have always shied from institution. We build individual and we call it institution. And when the individual ready to play yo-yo on us, 1 minute a year or another minute not there again or another minute a year or another minute, then you start going, what do we do? We have Dr. Doe Party, NDPR or DPL, whatever, I don't know, I forgot the name. Dr. Doe is no longer, where is the party? We have Charles Taylor Party. Charles Taylor is no longer, where is the party? We have Liberty Party. Constable Bronsky didn't win. Liberty Party is winning down. I'll use my own party as that. Okay? We have Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Party. They are not in power. Where is it? Fragmented all over. Because it is not an institution or true institution. The definition of a true institution, this is not it. I gave you, folks, these are things that you have to take into consideration. University of Liberia, an institution. Cardinal University, an institution. War came, messed things up, burn building. Cardinal University, burn building, burn things. You back up. Because the institution is there. It is just a matter of trying to put it back together. It's not based on individual. And they said, Mr. Toa, it's a university. Can you have a individual university? Of course you can. Jerry Falwell University. Have you heard about have you heard about that? Donald Trump University. Have you heard about that? Folks, come on. Don't tell me you don't know these things. An institution. These are things we don't have in Liberia. And they're causing us problems. But here's the interesting thing with this Patriot Council of Patriot. They got in. They didn't care who they were sleeping in the bed with. I mean, not literally, please. That's not what I mean. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. In fact, I take that word back because I know our brothers and sisters, oh yeah, but they will soon start putting things on it. I'll take it back. They got in and they didn't know who to associate themselves with. They decided we're going to go into it, and because we have the strength behind us, so there's nothing. So the first unfolds era, the momentum they had. And I keep making reference to that because there are other people who say, no, you're wrong. That's fine. That's why we have this medium for you to disagree with me. Okay? So they got involved. Okay? Dr. Weir, 2 days before, I'm not going to meet with any protester, nothing. Remember when he went to the Capitol building? Remember that? He said he wasn't, and I was on air. You can't do that. I was screaming, yelling, blah, blah, blah. Of course, he wasn't listening to me because he doesn't watch my show. So he don't even know what I'm talking about. But anyway, there were other people that were able to convince him, you got to meet. So he decided, okay, we're going to meet. And once he said we were going to meet, I thought the protesters, this is what an institution would do for you. Because if it has been an institution, they would have had their backup plans. Everything would have been laid out from day one. We're asking the government, we're demanding from the government. Why, if the government asks to meet, what do we do? Those are the kinds of discussion you have within an institution, because there will be certain group set aside to discuss that. Not the hierarchy. They will formulate ideas and pass it on to the hierarchy to make the final decision. That institution. Individual. Oh, you say something to cause Dr. Weir? You go flock something to on Benson Street. I got a business there. He ain't even reach Dr. Weir, yo. Somebody who want to make Dr. Weir happy, they come and flock me, yo. Because they want to make Dr. Weir happy. They come, nobody there to challenge him. Because Dr. Weir likes him. So he coming down, he sent people to come flock me. They flock me. Let me feel you low. But something when they flock you, all they say, of course, Dr. Weir. Dr. Weir need the paper now. He even know why people flock me. Oh. Because that's the individual, folks. And these are the kinds of mistakes we continue to make. Let me go back to that point. So when they got, they were not quite into it. They got to the place to meet. I thought that was another brilliant place. Wonderful opportunity. If they've had it within themselves to truly show that this is about Liberians and for Liberians, they will come out. These are our demands. Because by that time, they should have known exactly what the demand was going to be. Okay, Dr. Weir, thank you for the opportunity. We appreciate it. And now we have all the international community that are in Liberia helping us, helping our country to move forward. They're present here. That shows the interest they have in us. That shows they have not forgotten who we are, and therefore they continue to help us. We appreciate it. These are our demands. This is not about us, but it's about our people. And you read in that demand, folks, everything that are stated in that demand are all in the interest of Liberians. But then again, it's not what in the book, how this book is being presented will encourage people to want to read the book. Who's selling the book will encourage people why they want to read the book. The book was not sold correctly. So they didn't do that. They said, what do you got? We don't got anything. We'll wait till June 7th. Folks, these are kinds of stuff. Institution will not make such a mistake. Because as an institution, don't get me wrong, you have people like Samson who want to be part of the institution, want to mess things up. What they may say, he ain't from total, he talk, man, yeah, get out of here, man. What kind of business? You have people like Samson too. And then you have an intellectual. My young brother, I'm not going to call his name very, very much. Mr. Toh, calm down. Calm down. This is not about you. He would tell me quick, Mr. Toh, this is not about you. We said we're doing it for the people. So let's have an opportunity for all of us to express ourselves and see exactly what we want to do. And then they come up with idea. That It's an institution. They didn't do that. Dr. Weir, he did like this. After they left, most likely, this is what Dr. Weir did. 1 point. Politics is the interest. We're not going to deny that. They left from there. They waiting. The Senate called for them. Of course, Senate, I don't put much trust in it either. However, it's an institution that is guided by the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. We live under the Constitution of the Republic. You can't just get and start beating me up. The Constitution will take care of you. So the Constitution gave us the Senate. It doesn't matter who's in it. The Senate called them. My understanding, we're not going to talk to you until we want to talk to you publicly. Folks, there again, missed opportunity. Institution, you want to talk to us? Fine. Because the institution have selected people to do certain things, and these people are trusted with whatever it is that the institution they put them in charge of. So if you're in charge of negotiation, because this thing you can't get it all, it's gonna have to be negotiated. But if you don't have an institution, you have individuals. They say, oh, we're not going to negotiate, and then they stay because they are individuals. Nobody's going to challenge them. If the institution, no, we're going to negotiate. So they have people that's already set for those things. So when they met with the Senate said, okay, well, almost senators, we appreciate it, but we have a group that actually designated to do these kinds of stuff. So not because we the organizer or we the hierarchy, we are the people, but we have certain young people within us, within our group that are selected to do this. So we would like for you to engage these young people. These young people go to engage. They're not making final decision. They engage the senators and find out what the senator looking for. Point 2, they didn't do that. Dr. Weir wanted to protester. Here I am, Samson Toe, preaching, begging for peace. Day of protest. This is the interesting part of this. But I wasn't surprised. Because all along I've been telling you, these people do not, the whole thing is not built on solid foundation. So whatever movement that was happening, I wasn't quite surprised. Day of the protest, everything went well, beautifully. Nothing went wrong. Except time for presentation. First thing the government did was and these folks, I wish I was involved. First thing the government, even if I was involved, they're not going to let me come close to them anyway because they don't want to hear me. But anyway, the first thing the government said, well, we will have, the rumor was going around that the government going to send the vice president to receive whatever reasons they have. Before that, the vice president not well. What? Me, Samson Toe from Toe Town, after you finish announcing it to the whole world, we have international community present, and you telling me the vice president's sake? You will do like what they used to do to some of the mafia people in New York when they go to court. I say, they say, okay, you put them on a stretcher, take him to court. And serious, have you not seen that? They put the president on a stretcher and take him to court. Okay, the vice president said, yeah, you bring the vice president because that's what we expected. They said no. They brought somebody else. Me, I take the mic with the international community present. Here again, great opportunity. Fellow Liberians, we have succeeded putting this kinds of protests together. Liberians have not seen this before. We're asking the leadership of this government to do certain things to help our people move forward. They told us we were going to meet with the vice president. Now they're telling us the vice president is not available. They have sent in a representative of people who were not elected. They send them to us for us to give our grievances to secretary, ministers, people who the president can fire anytime. However, those of you that are representing the international community, here is the situation. How do you think we should proceed at this point? We have our grievances. We were told the vice president is going to be the vice president. By making that type of process, by engaging in that type of, you're putting Dr. Weah and his people right back in the back. But no, what did they say? We're not moving. We're here. We're not going to get anything. In fact, while one of them was speaking, another person grabbed the mic and brought in the new demand. So they're not going to give the protest. From that moment on, there are certain people, I keep telling you guys this, those that have the serious interest of the Liberian people, to say this is what we need, they started having second thought. Wait a minute. We said we were going to present the grievances here. So whoever they send, as long as the person is there to say they're representing the Liberian public, even if we don't agree with it, we can make that statement but present the thing. I'm sure those discussions was held. Never. They didn't do that. After that, they decided to do a protest. I mean, a press conference where they read out their demand. I'm not too sure if that demand has been physically presented to the government. I'm not too sure. I don't know. But where are we? In the last 2 days, they've been accusing each other of stealing. For me, those people that are involved, the organizer, for me, they are honorable people. What cost of going to do with your $9,000-$10,000? The man ready here, he did a GoFundMe, he got almost $30,000-$40,000. What is he going to do with your $13,000, $14,000, $15,000? Nothing. But here is the issue. Because people were not in it for the right reason, they have no trust for each other. And if you don't have trust, trust is the key to these kinds of stuff. Back in 1975, I think 74, 75, I had a paper at one time. Bacchus Mafia and his people were forming PA at the time. So there was a guy, I'm not going to call name, Bacchus Mafia and most of the people were living in New York and New Jersey area. So they decided they were going to go to Ohio for the meeting. And on their way to Ohio for the meeting, one of the guys they have designated to be the secretary at the time when they were putting PA together, he wrote and explaining to Bacchus Mafia that because of certain things he won't be able to go. So Bacchus Mafia wrote back, and I had that paper. Bacchus Mafia wrote back and said, here we are, and I'm paraphrasing them because I don't have it right before me. But if you go and do some research, because when Bacchus Mafia died, I did a paper on him and presented it to Front Page Africa published that. So if you can look there, you will be able to find it. But he said, here we are, trying to form an organization that perhaps we will be ready to engage the government of the Republic of Liberia. No pressure. Nobody has been arrested. And you want to tell me you can't show up? Should we count on you when we've been threatened by the government of the Republic of Liberia? When some of us are being put in jail, can we count on you? Where is the trust? That was a question. It was a very, very short, I think 1 or 2 paragraphs. That was it. I sent it back to him. I got hold of that letter. I had a lot of stuff. But I'm telling you all of these things when days, a certain person, once he died, you will see when you go to Indiana University, because that's why he had designated Indiana University to put all his stuff, and he had tons of documents on Liberia. Tons. If you're a political junkie, you will sleep on them. I did. But anyway, here is the thing with this whole issue. There was no trust. However, they couldn't expose themselves quickly because they were in the process. If they expose themselves, not having trust among themselves, people will see through it. So they were able to hold. But some of us knew that there was no foundation. because the people that were hanging together, the characters were not even aligned with each other. You have some people, as I stated, that cuss every day. They're with them. And you have some people that don't cuss. How are you going to get together? Where y'all will get together to make good sense? But because they decided to build an individuals, they didn't care. So here we are. The video that I was going to be playing for you tonight, and like I said, I forgot and didn't put it up. It's going to be two of them, but you can go and research it. The reason why I'm going about all of this thing here is just to give you an idea what is to come. And if we don't prepare ourselves, you'll be surprised again. But I'm not, because I know how this thing gonna turn out. I know. You say, how do you know? Because some of us have seen these things before. The music, we know Liberian politics. The music ain't playing just now. I was small when I started voting. I voted for Tottenham about little baby. I voted for Tottenham more than 6-7 times. Pa care me, I vote. Ma care me, I vote. Auntie care me, I vote. Uncle care me, for Tottenham. So I haven't been. And the interesting thing is, I grew up in Town Town, and in Town, things that they did in the interest of two-way party against our people, unspeakable stuff. And so my interest in politics, it's not just now. It started a long time ago. It was because of my mom. She used to sell fish in Total as well. But she always have extra $10 because she told me this. Say, I will not sit, whether I know the person or not, I'm not going to sit here, especially if I'm not on the farm, for me to sit here in Total and let somebody put their knees on the rock for the person to look up in the air, in the sky for hours because they don't have 10. I will pay the $10. And she used to carry $10 with her all the time. Because those days, if you don't have the tax, $10, they bring you to Town. And then I'm bringing, you're not walking. They put their hand behind your head and boo, 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 they're running with you. And then they will bring you in the middle of the town, in Town. I'm not playing. And they have these sedimental rocks, if you know anything about rocks, strong, sharp. They put them into pyramid, and you kneel down, put your hand behind your back, and you look up in the air until somebody pay your $10 before you can get out of that place. In the evening time, you don't pay, you go back to jail. In the morning, they bring you back. In Total, I'm not talking about other people. My town. So my interest in politics is not just that. When I used to go to Monreal with my mom, okay, you get to places like growing, they put everybody down. Where is your how do you call it those days? Hard tax. You got to have a hard tax receipt. You don't get it, you're going nowhere. Am I making it up, Liberians? Those of you that are old enough, am I making it up? No. So I know how this thing's gonna end. So, but anyway, let me leave total business. Let's go back into this. So they made a demand, and they asked Dr. Weah, they're giving him a month. This is the interesting part. This is why I wanted to play this video today. Because you have to know who you're dealing with, the character of the person you're dealing with, so that you will formulate a basic idea on how to approach situation. You can't mess with Dr. Weah. I'm telling you right now. There's a video. I told you guys about this video today. Some time ago. I was going to play the video. When you were playing soccer and in Europe, I mean, I used to read about that because he's a good dribbler and a forward at that rate. So he dribbled a lot, but people kick him for no reason. But not one did you hear Dr. Weah got a red card today because he kicked somebody by. They kick him, he get up and keep going. In fact, there was one particular football game that he took the ball from the bike and scored. How many times people kick him? Some of the kicks were not even legal. But that's besides that. There was this game they was playing. The game between Porto. There's a team from Portugal or something like Porto or something, and the AC Milan was playing. And they crossed the ball. The first time Dr. Weir he was jogging for position, they crossed the ball. Somebody headed the ball back to the right wing. And they crossed it for the second time. But by the time, and you can see the defender was trying to push Dr. Weir back. But Dr. Weir most likely was stronger than this person. So he beat this defender. And when the ball came, by the time the ball got there, Dr. Weir was already almost on the floor and he scored a goal. But when in the process, he used his left hand to balance himself. And the defender, who has been kicking Dr. Weir most of the day, came and intentionally, and they show it. You will see the replay. Intentional step on his finger, almost separated his fingers from the rest of his hand. And he was hurt. You could tell he was laying on the floor calling for help. Go and look for that. Go and look. I will play the video, folks. I think I will do that Monday. I'm not doing your 7 days. I wish I've done forgotten because when I came from work, I get kids here and there. That's why when you get plenty children, you can forget you kind of thing. But anyway, that's besides the point. So, Dr. Weir called for help. The help came. They wanted him off. He said no. Just tip my fingers, and they did. He stayed in. I think the game tied 1-1. That was back in, I think it's 96 game. So these people finished. The game was over. And they started walking. You know when you get off the field, you go through the tunnel. The next thing we look, at the end of the tunnel, when the guy was coming out, he looked at somebody have taken a cleaver to his nose. Separated his nose almost from his face. And he was calling Dr. Weir name. Guess what? The boy from Gibraltar who fingered this guy almost split out. Hair butted that boy like nothing else. The nose was bent, bleeding all over. Why am I saying these things? Every one of us, we have a point where you will say, whether you're woman, your man, boy, girl, you have a point as an individual where you say, no, enough is enough. All those people that have been kicking Dr. Weir, and because that guy did what he did to his friend, and you can tell that it was intentional, because usually when you hurt somebody, you go to the person while the person is on the floor crying for help. You who were involved, you go and kneel down to that person. But if you watch that video, you will see the guy standing up, putting his hands on his waist, turning his back to Dr. Weir. It was intentional. But when he got his nose busted, now he want to cry, boyfriend Gibraltar hurt me. Hey, are you kidding me? And guess what? They investigated. Did you hear any kind of suspension? No. Because the people themselves, the FIFA people themselves, they're not stupid. Yes, this young man has no mind power here in Italy. He's not in the street drinking. He focused on his career and he's doing good. So some of the FIFA people themselves have been playing football, but they know. If you play football, you know. People will kick you for no reason. And what happened? They wrote a letter. And that was the end of that. Why am I bringing this up, folks? That's the character of the president that we're dealing with. Let us don't try to do these kinds of stuff. I'm not too sure if the government was presented with the grievances or what have you. But Dr. Weir made a speech. You know, sometimes, even though I was here the other day yelling, why didn't they give him teleprompter and all that kind of, that's not important. I was focusing on the uptick. But the message is there. Come together around the table. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. What can you contribute? There are some people in Liberia, not even from the diaspora, that have the ability to move this country forward. But the protesters are sending it out as a demand. A government that is duly elected. A government that is elected to serve for 6 years. And you're asking, you're demanding. This is not banana republic. Why can't we be sincere with each other sometimes? Why would we want to do a demand? Instead of, okay, you want to meet, we didn't give you the protest. This again, folks, Dr. We have given up one more time, folks. And at this point, let the opportunity be seized by Henry Costa, by Dallas Dillon, by all the people that were involved, and go and have a round table discussion as the president is suggesting. Take him by his word. And if he deviates from that, the international community is watching. But if you think you're going to say, I demand, there are other countries, there are other governments in West Africa that also most likely will not allow anybody to demand from them. You think they're going to support you demanding the government of the Republic of Liberia to do certain things? They themselves are serving as well. So what makes you think that if they push Dr. Weah to accept what you're saying, your demand, that this type of stuff will not come back to them? Why can't we think a little bit outside of the box? Dr. Weah is the president of the Republic of Liberia. Liberia is not isolated. Everything that happened right now, most country, international community, any West African country, you start nonsense. Look, 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 look. You saw what happened in Liberia. Look at the amount of protests that they had. Not one fly got killed. What you come and make noise here for? They will use our situation against the people for years to come. Use this opportunity. Dr. Weah is calling for a round table. You don't have to bring old people. Accept the request. Put yourself back together. I don't care what kinds of fragment situation you have, what have you, whether you're an institution or individual. That's not the point right now. Put yourself back together. And let Dr. Weah tell you where and when does he want to have this meeting. Because here's the thing, that if you accept this, and this is what I'm saying, I'm predicting, if you accept this, remember, IMF is getting ready to come to Liberia. You want Samuel Tuah to be removed. It's part of, I believe, it's part of the request or demand. IMF is not satisfied with what kinds of things Samuel Tuah have been putting out there, to be honest with you. Because I read the whole thing. Okay? There are certain practices that the people who are responsible for monetary business in Liberia, they're not doing a good job. So the point is, if you accept what Dr. Weah is proposing, you're pretty much going to be in the driver's seat, to be honest with you. Because with IMF coming and you accepting to have a conversation on the economy of Liberia, why would Dr. Weah want a conversation on the economy of Liberia? If the economy was going well, you think they would even care for you? Because the economy is not doing well. That's why they want conversation. You be part of that conversation. And once you sit around that table, you have a voice. But if you say we're demanding, why if your demand are not met, what are you going to do? Get back in the street? So by you going that route, once again, if you're not careful, Dr. We have gone to 3 already. If you're not careful, you will go to 4. And those of us that used to play the brave bike in BDC, if you're man, you go 4 times, you may say you're out because you man 4. If that woman 3, I don't know why they said that rule. I don't ask me, but this is 4. So I'm asking all of you. We're going around now. The protester came out and make a report, wonderful report. We respect that. But then again, other people are accusing each other, the protest of being unethical and what. I don't believe that. These are honorable people as far as I'm concerned. Because every one of them have the interest of Liberia. However, how do we get there? This is where the conversion, okay? Diversion, I'm sorry. Conversion, whatever. Who cares? This is what. Let me speak the total English. This is what is separate, yeah? You hear me? But anyway, no, on a very serious note. So once you find that, you'll be able to do well. Once again, you can't push people around. Okay, Dr. Weir is asking for a meeting. For a meeting. Let's take that meeting and bring out some wonderful ideas. I will play you a little bit. There's a young man here that I like his stuff here very much, and I'll just play a little bit of it. I'm not going to play all of it tonight. He was on Dallas Dillon show that last time, almost 2 months or so ago, and he made such a wonderful economic sense. I'm not economic. I don't know anything about that. All I know, I get paid, I put my money in my pocket, and that's it. I put my money in the bank, that's it. What the bank do with money that they're proud of? That I'm not proud. I go check my money will be there. But do you know the bank also, when they take my money and loan it out, they get profit by? Is he going to share that profit with me 100%? I beg you, yeah. You think it's stupid? But anyway, that's not the point. That's not the point. The idea here is things are not going well. And it's on all of us as Liberians. All of us. What are you for and against? It's on all. You can't say any man want to be president. If you say that, then you're not sincere. Then you're making for nothing noise. Even if you don't have anything to contribute right now. Allow the people to have a meeting. And in process of discussion, things happen. No solution without a discussion. Only, and I would say only, maybe, because I'm not a mathematician, I know a little bit of math. But in math, you can sit down here by yourself and come up with formulas and things like that and say, okay, I want to arrive at a certain point, from this point to this point. You can do all of those things, but not in political life like this. Folks, this is Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I think, let me play this here before I open a line. Let me play this, folks. It's a very interesting young man. I think his name is Alu, but you will hear his name being called. Please, I'm not going to play all of it because it's a little bit longer, but he makes sense. All the whole 20, 30 minutes of it. So much sense. This is the man. I think, Dr. Weir, whatever you do, try to get this young man to work with you guys. He's done it before for Liberia. He can do it again. Get him. Don't let him get away. Samson told LIBERIA. Let's listen to what he has to say to us.
Aliu, I'm trying to bring you on. Don't try me this time around. The boy accusing me of bringing people on that I know. But I've tried to bring other people on as well, and I can't get them on.
Yes, I'm on.
Aliu, problem?
Yeah, you getting me now?
Yeah, problem, solution, fire.
Okay. You know, Dylan, let me start first by coming forth with some information. Firstly, at least for the information, at least for the viewing public, I worked in the public sector for 10 years. 10 years, and up to in the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning for 7 years, and 4 of those years I was the Assistant Minister for Expenditure. So I actually really understand and a lot of the issues going on, and also just sitting back and looking at what are some of the things that are going on. I really feel for the guys that are in public finance, that are in public management now, because I listened to Lester Tenney speaking. I think Lester was very much truthful. If you ask me, he was very truthful. One, because if you look at the economy now, all of the structural issues he's talking about, they are all long term. You can't address any of those things in the short term. And secondly, from all indications, it appears that they have not really drawn up any really robust plan to address those issues. So you cannot speak to those issues. But I want to let the people know, and to let folks in the government know, that there are actually short-term solutions to some of the things that we're facing. The first thing that we have to look at is, how did we get here? When, despite the bad growth forecast, the economy wasn't growing when the government took over, but the economy was much better than it is today. In fact, it's getting far worse. There's the problem. And I told you earlier before I went up that I want to address this issue from a public finance management perspective. Because when you want to talk about how the government is able to fund investment activities, fund productive activities in the economy, it has to be able to generate resources to do that. If you look at that, like Liberia, the nature of our budget, government raise resources through domestic revenue and through partner financing and spend those money in the economy. And the way the government spends the money in the economy also helps to generate revenue for the government. But now there's the problem that we have. When the government took over, the instant risk, in fact, and I actually made this point known to some of the folks in the government that I had contact with, that I talked to when the transition was taking place. I told them that the biggest risk to the budget, to public finance, was the risk of the payroll going out of hand. Because why? You have a lot of ministers coming across the government bureaucracy from ministries, agencies, and all of these people were under significant pressure to bring on new people into those bureaucracies. So once you do that, you actually expand the public sector wage bill to a level beyond control. And that is exactly what we have seen. The public sector wage bill has gone up. I agree with Dr. Lester Tenney, that you cannot continuously be reducing the wage bill, the salary of people. But they did that already in July last year when they did the 10 to 15, 10, 7, 8% cuts for ministers and directors. They did that already. So they've already done cuts. So if they do any other cut, it will be the second cut in a year that they will be doing to payroll, when in fact prices of goods and services are going up. You will be actually stifling the purchasing power of people in order to make sure that they do the kind of investment, the kind of expenditure in the economy that will lead to more growth. So now this is the issue: how the government is preventing itself from doing from addressing some of those issues. Just look at talk to business people that are doing a business with government around. They are not getting paid. Everywhere, all of the business people are complaining they are not getting paid. Even government tenders these days are not competitively bid at. So there are so many issues, and the procurement process.
There you have it. There you have it. This young man, I will continue to play his stuff because he makes so much sense. I just thought, because I think we're running a little bit here late tonight, so I thought that I try to put it up so that we can do the phone. I'm going to be putting the phone number up here very shortly. Give me a call and let me know what's on your mind, folks. We're here to have a discussion, and we will, express yourself. All we ask is that let's be respectful to each other, because your host, I try not to use bad words. So if I'm your host, and I don't know English, I speak the bye English, and then I still not cussing, then you can't come here now and cuss too now. Then that's not the way to go. So let's speak the Buse English, let's speak the Crown English, let's speak the Baza English. What kind of English we want to speak? Let's speak that one. Because when we speak that one there, then we will be ourselves will understand. You see, because we're not talking about other people. Both people, they want to speak that both people. Let them go to both people. But we here, when we come here now, let's talk to respect each other now, because that's the only way we'll be able to get along well, my people. So let me put a number on so y'all can give me a call. Samson Tola, bro. Do you like that, huh? I bet if I was to bring my son up here right now and have a go, huh? What do you say? Speaking about son, folks, tomorrow morning, very early in the morning, I will have son slash nephew. My brother's son will be my guest here tomorrow. And the reason why he's going to be my guest, not because he's my son, but he's been doing some wonderful things. He has a shoe line. He call it PRC, People Redemption Council of Liberia, because his father used to be a member of PRC. So he called himself PRC. So he called it shoes. He named the shoe PRC member. So I'm just telling you in advance so you would know. And he will be my guest here tomorrow. And I think our conversation very early in the morning, because he has to go to work and have other things he wants to do. So I will bring him on tomorrow and we'll have a conversation. But in the meantime, let's go ahead. Samson told Labron Public Radio. Let me put a number. Give me a call and let's have a conversation. What's happening in our country, folks? Because we Liberians, as usual, it's not like we're lazy, and that's some of the things that gets some of us frustrated sometimes. Because Liberians, in fact, in whole of West Africa, were known to be lawyers. They say Liberian men are lawyers now. Because but one thing we don't do well is to sit in the group and talk, have a conversation where you will sit for 5, 10 minutes and wait until it is your turn. If you were to put me on with anybody right now and the person talking, I'll start moving, wiggling in my chair because I'm anxious to talk. That's who we are. So, okay, that's who we are. We know that. We know that. So these are the kinds of stuff that will give us the opportunity if we take on Dr. Weir based on his request of trying to have a roundtable conversation and discuss if that young man that spoke that was just piece of it. That's not all of it. So if he was part of that conversation, surely you will be able to have some concrete information coming from him. Another thing, like I said, IMF is going to go to Liberia. If here's the interesting thing, Liberia cannot resist. Well, they can, but Liberia cannot say no to IMF. They can, but they cannot say and expect IMF to give the money. This is not United States. United States, according to some of the report that some of us have been reading, United States those days and some of the things that I know of, they will tell you what you need to do for you to manage your money. They're not bringing in money. IMF will tell you how to manage your money that they will bring for you. If you refuse to manage the money they will bring, they will not bring the money. So that's the two different things. And therefore, I think Liberians, especially the way things are going, they will want to listen. This, my brothers and sisters, if IMF goes to Liberia, Samuel Tua have no part to play in this. He cannot stay. If he accepts IMF to come in, IMF will not make the decision to say we're going to keep him or not to keep him, but the policy they're going to put in place, unless Samuel 12 decided to cave, and that would not be good for his career. Because remember, he's a young man as well. So for people to come and say all these months things that you've been putting in place, these are all flawed policy, and this is why the country is not moving forward. These are things you need to do. Now he has the right to say, okay, I accept it. Let's change it and move it. But can you imagine some of us getting hold of those type of information? So once again, my phone number is there, 916-533-2048. Give me a call. Okay, so it's a very very interesting dynamic that is going to be happening here. Okay, this is why I'm asking this Council of Patriots to put their pride aside and accept. Don't put a demand out to say the only way I'm going to be coming around that table until you do X, Y, and Z. Then you're not hurting Dr. Weir. You're hurting your own people that you say you want to fight for. And once again, let me go back to what is happening with my brother Dallas Dillon on his show tonight, whereas he was supposed to come out and tell us what he can do and what he will do for the upcoming election, and if he win, what he spent almost 20-30 minutes explaining that he's not a crook. Jesus. I like to run some of these people campaign, explaining that I'm not a crook. My character is not like that. But you even mention explaining, and instead of giving proposal what you're going to do, instead you try to defend your character. You give an opinion, because now anything you do, anybody that on defend, they got problem. Because when you in defense, you got a big jogging backward. And how many of us can run backward? You can't, but you can run forward, because that's where toes and everything. You can't run on your heels coming back. And this is exactly in politics. That's one of the things they will tell you. Don't, whatever you do, try not to go backward. Try not to explain yourself too much. Because the more you explain, yourself, the more ammunition you give the other people. Because explanation. Okay, Samson, let me take this call. The more that's ammunition you're giving your people. Samson told LeBron Paparito, what's your name and where you're calling from? If I can get you. Hello? Hello? What did I do? Can you hear me? Yeah, but for some reason I'm not getting you right now. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, hold on. Can you hear me? Yes, but it's not supposed to be like that. All right, hold on. Yeah, yeah, yes. Okay, hold on 1 minute. Okay, so you can still hear me, right? Go ahead.
Sato, this is Bella calling from Phoenix, Arizona.
Thank you, Mr. Better. Thank you for joining us. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, you see, most of the time I look at your shows and other shows in respect to the problem we face in Liberia. The problem we face in Liberia is us Liberians. The solution to the problem to Liberia's state is the problem to us Liberians. We are the one can fix it, and we are the same one can solve it. So, what is in my mind is that for some of us who had the opportunity to be in the Western world, like the gentleman that you just put up there on your show that was trying to explain how things works in the private sector, the experience he has. Those are the kind of people that are supposed to team up with some of us who have skills and knowledge in project development and finding the ways of means how to fund those projects. Those are the people that need to team up. People in the health sector, people in the engineering like you, those are the people that need to team up and make a trip to the nation and sit down with people who disagree and agree with the government and say, listen, this is what we are here for. This is what we need to do. This is how we can get this country going forward. Instead of doing that, if we sit down to say we're talking every day, day and night, talking things that we don't have resolutions for, we are wasting our own time and we are wasting the nation's time. So for the benefit of the listener, I think we can get together as good people, put aside all differences, and see how best we can help the nation and the sovereign people in the nation. Because when your head is itching, if you don't eat your own head, you never get satisfied. Thank you very much. That is my take.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. We appreciate it. Again, folks, Samson told LeBron Public Radio. That's my number up there. I hope you will be able to call me. But anyway, so then again, you just, I mean, just before I even finish my statement, that's exactly what the brother just saying. If you know that you have something, you give a call, um, or you go out and meet with the government. It's the government. And government ain't got small government, ain't got no total government and LeBron government. A government is a government. It's just big, small, it's the same. Okay? So there's nothing, I wish, this is where people like the organization like Yula should step in. Yula should step in, I think. I'm not too sure. Okay, let me take this. Samson told LeBron Public Radio, what's your name and where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
My name is Jusu. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Thank you. Welcome on LeBron Public Radio, Jusu. What's going on?
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. And so I just want to comment on your last caller that just left the line. You know, it's a brilliant idea that he's trying to pull forward. But you see, Mr. To, our problem in Liberia is, I don't know how to call it jealousy. Because, for example, for the past few days, you've been seeing posts on Facebook or from any people like Yusuf Fagone. They classify we that in the diaspora as cartoon pusher, as people who go and clean poo, people who do all sort of job in America here. And what people fail to realize, maybe those are the things that keep you back in backward in Liberia. What you call dignity in labor. There are people who are in this country who are housekeeper, but they live better life. Their life is better than somebody even that calling themselves a director in Liberia. So if we clean people, if that make us to live a good life, so let it. But the problem is jealousy. Like what the fellow just said. That's a good idea. Technocrats will get together in this country to say, okay, let's go back home and put for ideas that will make the country to go forward. But you know why? When you go, I embrace you, but when you finish giving the idea, they say, oh, those one they coming from America, they want to come and get our job. So they might not even take your idea. That's the thing that's suffering in Liberia. If it is not me, it don't have to be you. Okay? People who are criticizing that we are pushing cartoons, some of them every night they go to pray to come to America. Every DVD play, every year DVD play to come to America. Well, you hear them say because they don't have the opportunity to be here like us, they castigate or they cast out to be different people. During the election, they used to call internet citizen. And today, why you think the president himself made mention of the drop in remittance last year? Because the country depends on what we say in our country. On all the people and the cartoon we are pushing here, we are sending money in our country to help the economy, to help our people. See, friends, they might not tell you in your face. But a friend that will come and say, oh, just a big man, can you please help me with 50? I would have said that 50. But then the next thing they will say, we don't want anyone, the cleaning people, the pushing cartoon. So that's the problem we got. No, those are all good ideas. That's why I think the overall saying people can be saying is that we have to change our mindset in our country. That's the only way that we will move forward. We have to change our mindset. So thank you very much for giving me the platform.
Thank you, my brother. We appreciate it, folks. Give me a call, Samson told LeBron Public Radio. If you call and the phone is busy, that means not picking up. That means somebody else is on the line. That's all. Give me a call. Your view is very important to all of us because this is how we get things going. And you heard this young man that was on here suggesting that perhaps the Liberian people here in the diaspora, perhaps we need to get together and see if we can. But then, what do you do? Do you call it an organization? Because we have Liberian Engineer Society. We have all the. Let me take this. Samson told Liberian Public Radio, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
My name is James Momo. I'm calling from the state of New Jersey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Momo, for joining us. What's going on, sir?
Well, I feel a little trouble why Liberians are giving permanence to this Eugene Fargo statement about Liberians in the United States pushing cartoon. We shouldn't really give permanence to this guy's statement. You know, Eugene Fargo was living here before, and he knows Liberians are qualified, educated, smart, and they are making contributions to the growth and development of the United States. And not just that, even Liberia. So, the problem for Liberia is, that I said often, is people like Eugene Fargo, people who are now looking at what the realities are, what the plights of the people of Liberia are. And because they are serving in government, they feel that everything is normal. You know, and so this is the disparity between people like Eugene Fargo and those of us that live in the United States. You know, so Liberia is for everyone. You know, and this is a great platform you are using where Liberians can come and really express their views on unfolding events in Liberia. You know, Liberia is declining. The economy is worse. The inflation rate is high. People are living in ideal poverty. Corruption is everywhere. You know, government is not transparent. So these are issues we need to talk about. It's not about Mayor Eugene Fargo, who was running an African store in the United States, a man who holds an associate degree. So we should even be discussing this man on a platform like this. You know, so. But like the caller said, the problem of Liberia is being able to People who with great ideas, they go there and they do, they don't try to incorporate them into the system. But one time I heard you talking. You talking about the rules. One time I heard you talking about the rules in Liberia. How they were making rules. The application of the rules are very poor. They're not even that long. But that's the kind of environment we have. And these are the issues we need to be discussing. Liberia is too old to be, what it is today. And it's because of people not being able to discuss those issues that are affecting the lives of our people. And again, your platform is great. Your platform is great. I must commend you for this. Not everybody's going to follow George Weah. I will vote for him. I know that George Weah is not competent. I know that George Weah does not have he doesn't even know what he's doing in our country. So this is where we are. This is where we are. And the thing is, and again, I just want to add or probably conclude on that in that your platform should be able to educate our people back home. George Weah is a classic example. Because when they make the errors, when they make these political errors, the impact is on you and myself. Our friends will be, it's hard, things are very difficult. They're already 3,000. So they expect you to take your hard-earned money and send there because they have made this political error.
Right,
so
right.
It's just pathetic. And again, they're just we should not give credence to Eugene Fagon. Eugene Fagon is a controversial minister. A man who doesn't even know what he's doing.
Okay. Right.
For him, pushing the son of George Weah is what that matters.
Okay. Thank you, my brother, for your view. We appreciate that's your view. We expect that from anybody that come out here to express their view. We don't tell you what to say. All we say we do it with respect, and I think you have done that. Thank you very much, sir. Again, folks, Samson told LeBron Public Radio. One of the things that I want to say here, of course, the young man was very respectful, but he was also forceful in his pronouncement. All that I can say to that is this: one thing that I want to take out of his comment is that even though he doesn't believe Dr. Weah knows anything, however, he was elected. And so, first thing is the fact that he doesn't know anything according to him. But that does not negate that Dr. Weah was elected, and we must work with him. We must work with him. He was elected, democratically elected. You can't say you want to do good for Liberians, but at the same time you don't want to accept their electoral result. Then you're not doing them a favor, because if you say you make a mistake, and okay, if you think they make a mistake, you're going to punish them by not sending any more money? No. So you're going to send money, and the person you think don't know anything going to be there for 6 years. So the best way, if you want to save the little money you have for yourself and not sending money all the time, which it doesn't matter whether we have Barack Obama in Liberia, Liberian will still send money to their relatives. Some of us are so anxious and itchy. Every time you get paid, you can't wait. Okay, I'll send you money. I'm serious. It might sound funny to you, but some people will do that. Some people live in America here to support their relative back because that's who we are. Anyway, so if you work with Dr. Weah, if you express yourself respectfully, and now, first of all, let us don't go with the notion I'm dealing with a figurehead. Because once you have that kind of approach, all of your engagement will come from that perspective. As a result, you're not going to offer anything that is tangible, because you're dealing, according to you, you're dealing with figurehead. So why would you want to give that person something that will elevate the conversation? Because for you, in your mind, this man doesn't know anything. So for that reason, since I know he doesn't know anything, why would I want to talk to him about calculus? Why would I want to talk to him about beam deflection when I know he doesn't know anything? So then I'll just tell him, that 2 plus 2, man. Oh, man, they win up, man. Hey, you see what I'm going with this thing? And therefore, you can't close your mind like that. If we're going to work together, either we agree we're going to work with Dr. Weir, no matter what, we offer the best. We offer the best, not necessarily for Dr. Weir. We're offering the best through Dr. Weir for our people. Because once again, you can't fool yourself. Dr. Weir was elected. Let me tell you this, the election business here a little bit. Some time ago, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 years or so ago, or even more, they have issue in Egypt. United States government, no, 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 we don't want anything. We want election. Twice they did it in Middle East. We want election. People say, oh, you want election? Said Muslim brother who said, okay, we'll put our hand. Oh, you're blessed. They were beaten. They got nothing to offer. People, the job troublemakers. Muslim brother won. Oh, that kind of election said we like it that way anyway. Well, they're not true election. America started backtracking. They did the same thing in Palestine. They wanted election. West Bank group say if you get election, because the people in the West Bank were not doing good for the people. The people in Gaza, Hamas, were doing good for their people. You say you want election? They say, yeah, well, America won't let them have election. That's the only way. Hamas won. Hamas was not in the interest of America and the rest of the Middle East. Peace why? But they were doing good for their people. They were cleaning the street, the garbage collected every time. They pay people. That kind of election. You see what I'm saying? Election has consequence. The consequence of an election is enormous. You can't take that away. But once that is done, you must respect the result. If you are true liberal, progressive, just like I am, you must respect the result. And if you respect the result, you can't separate the result from the person that's being elected. Well, I'm telling you, this is funny now, but this is very serious. That's what giving most Liberian hard time. They cannot see. Because for them, Dr. Weir doesn't know anything. But guess what? He was elected. So if we, on a very serious note, if we, let me finish my statement. I'll come to you, please. Let me just finish my statement. If we're going to actually offer the best to Dr. Weir, through Dr. Weir for our people, we must do so with honesty. You can't come in with a conceived notion to say, okay, this is what happened, that's what happened. So, okay, that's my opinion. I'm sorry, caller, you called him, but your phone went off. So give me a call, 916-533-2048, folks. I will soon be getting out of here very shortly. Okay. So, if I'm not making sense, please stay so. If I'm not making sense, please stay so. This is what we do here on Liberian Public Radio. The views that are being offered here are the view of the participant. We don't tell them what to say, and we're not asking them to say anything other than what they want to say. Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio, welcome back. So go ahead. What's on your mind?
Well, I just listened to your analysis of and being able to support the government. Your analysis are your analysis are good. But the system we have, the problem we have in Liberia, does not.
Can you lower your background monitor a little bit for us, please?
Okay. The analysis you made, we do not have that environment in Liberia. President Weir is comfortable.
Go ahead.
Well.
Yeah, we're listening. Go ahead.
Okay. The analysis you made are very perfect. You're saying you're speaking as a professional, but that's not the environment that exists in Liberia. President Weir was elected by the people of Liberia, and you are right. Nobody can challenge that. But here is the president who feels comfortable with his segment, with his surroundings. So regardless of what your willingness to contribute to the development of Liberia, of helping George President Weir to do what is right for the people of Liberia, he's not prepared to do so. Okay,
But let me
because he's
challenge.
comfortable with
Hold on, my brother. Thank you. I think
uh,
I think just from listening to you, usually I don't do this. I let people make their view heard, and I mean, speak out, and I just let it go. But it
I
seemed to
understand.
me
Yeah.
that you are somebody that I think I can comfortably engage without being afraid of being labeled as interrupting a guest. So, but let me challenge you a little bit, sir. If you saying that Dr. Weir is comfortable with his surrounding, and therefore, if you try to help him, he will not understand. Have we tried that before?
No, not me personally.
No, I'm
Not
not.
me
I'm not. I
personally.
said we. I mean, we Liberian. Have we?
Okay,
Have we?
we
Have we?
look.
Have we put forward that you know of some sort of a engagement process that perhaps we're
I
ready?
know Liberians. I know Liberians that went back to Liberia. All the person here, got elected.
Okay.
These, these are people I know personally. These are qualified Liberians. They are economists. They are sociologists. They are big guys that went to Liberia to help this government. I mean, George Weah is linked to you and myself based on where we come from. I know you come from a traditional family. Just like me, families that are not worth it. That's where George Weah came from. And so I know Liberians, after he was elected, they decided to go to Liberia to help nurture this government with their professionalism and expertise. They came back to the States. They came back to the States because people who were there around George Weah did not give them the opportunity to even get close to George Weah to say, hey, we are here to contribute. This is what we are talking about. Liberians in the United States are willing to help President Weah succeed. If honestly, George Weah is a representative of all of us. But he must be able to create a corridor where professional Liberians will be able to go back home and contribute. You cannot look. Liberians are crying about Samuel Tuer. They are qualified Liberians who can be prime minister. They have people who are qualified to be city mayors. All right? They have people who are qualified to be minister of work. These are engineers that are trained in the United States. So where do we go? But the thing is, to be honest with you, the thing is, George Weah is comfortable. He's very comfortable with the people that surrounds him, and this is where the problem is. And we have to, I don't know how it's going to change.
Okay.
When George Weah can open that corridor, I think great things will happen in Liberia.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Folks, this is Samson to Labron Pub Radio. The young man, the statement he made here is quite in place. But then again, then I do this to myself. I pat myself in the back. Because I've been warning Liberians from the date of the election. You push the young man away, the people putting in that bubble, we can't get him out. And I've been saying this over there are certain people that are in the circle of Dr. Weir that have gotten hold of him, and you can't get them. Let me answer. Yeah, good evening, Mr. So. What's on your mind?
Yo, Soto, good evening. How are you?
Not bad at all. Thank you for joining us. What's on your mind, sir?
Okay, this is quite fascinating. And I mean, that's the fact you were saying, and this is the kind of message. This is a challenge to all of us. And not to sound very terrible and ugly tonight here, but that's the fact, and that's the fact we always like to unveil on this network. The issue of Liberia is almost like America. Donald Trump is another guy they are dealing with right here in this place here, and they have to deal with him until what? Next year, the election, right?
Right.
Until next year. Until they can otherwise democratically decide to change course to say, okay, we thought this guy was the guy because he came into the spotlight, and perhaps people thought because he was a businessman, but he's not a politician, and he thought things are going to be there. But this is a guy that you know the story. I know the story. Everybody knows the story in terms of how he approaching things, how he sees things, how he goes about and talk things. That's the same way. Liberians were so how some way tired of politicians' way of doing things, not trusted. And so George Weah coming into the picture in Liberia and coming from or presenting himself, or he was something like And one of the ordinary Liberian decided to overwhelmingly empower him, you know? And so that's the situation we are faced with. So I kind of want to agree with you. We will not get tired talking. We will continue to have this sort of discussion here. But I think when it is done in a civic manner, I understand the sort of frustration that is
So,
inside.
Mr.
Some of
So,
those guys
Mr. So, let me interrupt a little bit. So, you agree with the liberal progressive to this evening? In other words, you conservatives have now caved into my view to the liberal view. Is that what you're telling us?
well, when it is genuine and when it is authentic and when it is nationalistic, we agree with it. And most of the time, I just don't agree with you. But this is the situation we have to deal with. With George, what do you think? Any sort of pressure going to make him to resign with those sort of folks that are around him? No. But so they should see as an eye opening for Liberia, and not just not just only to the president. There are three branches of government in Liberia. How are those other branches of government functioning? You look at the legislature that should be able to have a check and balance. See what is happening right now. The investigation from past elections still continues. They're still bringing in high-profile government officials to seek more clarification, to seek answers. How many of our lawmakers have the courage to do that? They don't. How many of them? They don't. What is the judicial branch of government? What is their own function? So what I'm saying here is this last election or moving forward should be an eye-opening for every Liberian for us to be able to make wise decisions. You know, but we Liberians, we are quick to sing. We don't even know what we are singing for. These songs, we continue to sing these songs. We don't wait at the end of the day. We need to be waiting at the end of the season, then we sing these sort of songs. What I'm saying here is we don't cross-examine. We don't ask our leaders what they intend to do for us. But when they are there, that's what we want to ask them. When a person is there for 6 years, 9 years, when they're going as senator, while they are already in power, that's when that's when you're going to be asking them what they want to do for their constituents. It's wrong. We need to start asking them now what they want to do. And that's the point you were talking about there with Darius Dillon. I tried to follow that up. I don't think it is time now I give justification and explain. You're supposed to be focusing how differently you're going to do it than those that are there. What are some of the changes you intend to take in the House? What are some of the bills, if elected? Based on that, people are going to satisfy you and say, oh, yeah, this guy is going to do. Are you going there to reduce the salary if you're against of this heavy, fabulous paycheck our people are getting, and some of them don't have offices in their constituent? Are you going there and say, you know what, I'm going to reduce my salary, and I'm going to go directly to these organizations or to this teacher group or to this orphanage home, people that need it? Are you willing to make that sacrifice? Or we just talking it because we want to have a talking point or because of political correctness statements? These are things that we're supposed to be talking about right now. What are we lucky on that? This brother going to be there. But we're going to continue to have this discussion. And it's good that people are talking because at some point in time, it will give me a sense of direction and say, wait a minute, something is not going right. And folks that are around here, we're not going to give up. But like you said, we're going to have a good civil discussion so that people will know, because if it is done in anger, if it is done in abusing and cursing, you're not going to have people, because this sort of power struggle, you're right, I'm right, that's what we're going to be drowning into, and that's what we're going to find ourselves in for the rest of the time. So, and that's what set us apart from different other networks, and that's why we have not, and we would never obligate ourselves to one institution, neither the government, the opposition, or any pressure group. When you come on our platform, we ask you the tough questions, we look at it, we examine you, because we have to do it right for Liberia. But all of these people here, see what is happening within the COP. Some of their friends join them. Now we're seeing them breaking a right. These freaking people are not trusted, and that's the thing for it. Let's say George we are leave for God's sake today. Who can anybody raise their finger now and put in there? And look, let me say it today, something. Even come 2023 or whatever after election, what Liberians have started, that's what we're going to continue. Whoever that is elected within 1 month, 6 months, some kind of group will wake up. Liberians are noted of following bad group of people. They don't follow people. They don't think of the objective. They don't ask questions. They just follow. And we noted of following taking the bad roads. That's how they were coming. In as much there was change needed in that country, we didn't sit and examine ourselves what form of change that we want. And we sang the song, "You Killed My Mind, You Killed My Pie, I Will Vote For You." And BBC coming to talk here right here. Liberia is heading in a direction like a vessel with an unknown technician. You know what it means to be on a ferry or to be on a ship without a technician? You're gonna go down the sea. You know. So this is to say that we have a very serious problem, and this serious problem needs a serious approach, honesty, sincerity, the love of the country. That all of us has to be our hallmark. Unless we can get those things done, unless the three branches of government, we can hold them to their feet and not just only focus on the executive branch of government. I think we're going to make a difference. While people are getting 15,000, lawmakers 15, 10,000, and fabulous bonuses check, and they don't even have a constituent, they're not putting no bills forward, they're not even asking the executive branch, no check and balances, and then we just want to focus only on it. We need to start pulling all of those people to fight to the feet. That's the only way that country can be fixed. And we will not give up. We will continue to talk until things are done right for us here at LPR. But I do agree with you this point this time around. But it doesn't guarantee moving forward tomorrow. I'm going to agree with you. That's just to let you know.
Yeah, but I'm not changing my liberal view either. So let's just get that straight. You can come in as a conservative. I know that, and I'm always ready for you as a conservative. I will deal with that when it comes, but I'm not changing my liberal view. By the way, thank you very much for joining us this evening. That's the CEO of LPR, Mr. Soul. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, sir. Okay, folks, Samson told LeBron Public Radio. I'm going to be taking a leave of you here very shortly. I think it's been a wonderful, wonderful discussion here this evening. This platform, as you know, is where we come to have discussion. I come out here, give you my view, and then I allow you to express yourself freely. I always say that we should be respectful to each other. Folks, this is a very trying time for all of us because our country is going through a lot right now. Our brothers and sisters back home having a lot of issues that we can try to work with. We can't go and borrow Nigerians to help us fix this thing. We can't go borrow Ghanaians. We can't get Guineans, Sierra Leoneans, Ivorians to come and help us. Only us. And the point that I'm making, and that will be my last point for the evening, then I'll close, is this. The opportunity is there. Those of you that have the means to adhere to the request by Dr. Weah in his speech, and it's a public speech. It has been played all over the world. People have heard it. He's asking for a roundtable discussion if you have issues. Put yourself together. If you want to use the Council of Patriot, so be it. If you want to come up with a different name, do so. But goodness sake, put yourself together and engage this government. Because here's one or two things that I predict will happen if you accept this. This time around, I hope that the brothers and sisters that will get involved will try to make sure only those who have serious interest for Liberia will be involved. Now, I'm not saying that people will be, everyone that will be there will be, there will be people that will be there for their own self. There's no question to ask. That's okay. But I'm saying if you're going to engage, be truthful. If you're going to engage, be mindful of the fact that those that you're going to be engaging, especially in Dr. Weah's circle, don't want to engage you. You heard a lot of people making comment. I've never made comment about Eugene Falcon, whatever he stated today, because I don't even want to dignify that. The Liberians that are in the diaspora pushing cartoon and what have you, they can eat. They're not hungry. You know, my sister came here before long. She was telling me. I said, "How are you doing today?" "Oh, I'm okay. My garbage," she said, "my garbage stomach full every day." You know what that means? They mean the garbage can that in your house get trash, food left over every day. My garbage stomach full every day. Even Liberians that are pushing cartoon, working in these places, dirty places, their garbage can is full every day. The garbage stomach is full every day. So I'm not going to sit here and play Eugene Falcon, he said this, that's up to him to classify his own brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Perhaps something happened, I don't know. What caused him to say that, I don't know. But there's no way that even me at that position will say things like that to somebody. I don't care how much you say to me. I should be able to have a, a political fortitude that will allow me to withstand these type of statements. The temperament of an individual is very crucial in this type of position. And so we're just going around. But basically what I want to say to my brothers and sisters before I close this evening is this. Let us not forget. Because once you get that accepted, then the rest of it will be easy for you. And that is, you should accept that Dr. Weah was elected. That's the first thing. Once that's out of the way, once you accept it, then the next thing is, he's the president of my country. Therefore, he's my president. And I must engage in as such. Be honest in your engagement. If you have the opportunity to meet with Dr. Weah, and most of the time, these meetings, they're not done in isolation. I like the way Dr. Weah is handling these meetings. They're not done in isolation, one-on-one, no. Over office, no. He has a table, people from other countries that's there. And if you get something to hide, that's why you say you close the door. Come in, close the door. But he's not doing that. He said, let's sit down here. What you got? Show me. Then how you will leave from that kind of open meeting and he said, man, got something you're hiding. Why are you hiding? My people. Let me get out here tonight. I want to thank all of you again. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Friday evening, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio folks. Again, now that Dr. Weah has given me the opportunity to pivot back to my engineering role of trying to get road business and things like that, I will do more road condition. I saw some pictures somebody put up today, and I was very discouraged. They're putting asphalt on an old road. And if you look at the base, it's of solid base. I'm not questioning it. But how you call a solid base that had a potholes? So if you have something that you filled it in or you grade it, so that at least it will be even up. Then you can put taco on it. But they have the taco all over because the pothole filled with oil, Tapco oil. And that Tapco oil, when the summer comes in, that oil gonna get hot. And guess what? It will want to evaporate. And guess what? It will find a way through some little rock. And then boom, your new road is gone again. Those are the kinds of stuff we need to pay attention to. And we can't do these things and we'll continue to fight with each other. Yeah, I am. I'm here. I can't do road. Why my brothers and sisters are struggling on ideas, if I know I can offer some ideas. But if things are not that bad politically, I'm a political junkie. I go with politics. I'm not going to come this sweet politics. I'm going to leave here and can't talk to you about road business. I'm not going to do that. I'm a road engineer. That's not something, but political thing. I'm a junkie, political junkie. So I will come to the politics side. So if you ease out, you give me opportunity to come and talk to you about roads. Folks, these are things that we need to explain to folks back home. Here's the thing. Most of these brothers and sisters that are working with public way, highly educated, master degrees. Not that they don't know what they're doing. But most of the time, according to some of the stories that I'm getting, when they make decisions, people who don't know nothing, they overrule them. They are not happy, you know. This is Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. No. Ali, David, no, I'm not working for the government. No, I'm not working for the government. No. I don't see it. Let me take that back. The only thing that I might want to do for government is what they call capacity building. For example, I'm an engineer. So what can I do? maybe go and have a bunch of young engineers that are working for public works. It's okay. These are the kinds of things you do to get your role to a stand-up, acceptable stand-up position. I can teach a class, not LU, no, what do you call it? Summer Maria or Stena Maria, whatever they call it, Maria, Santo Maria. Oh, but well, I don't know, but it's an engineering school. I'm sorry, those of you that graduated from. Let me be careful because one of my young men here in Dallas right now is from this. What do you call it, Stena Maria or whatever. But anyway, I'm not gonna go to the kinds of places. But what I can do is to say, okay, public works. This is what I can do. Have a capacity building classes where I come in, teach your people how to use the survey equipment, because that's one of the things that's lacking. If you look at some of the picture that I'm talking about today, they're putting asphalt down, and the asphalt you can see they're not even based on grades. I don't see no grade stakes. So if you have a surveyor, construction surveyor, that will come in and put grade stakes, and those grade stakes are measured from that asphalt truck or from the paver, then perhaps you will do well. But those are things that are not happening. And they think about, when if I have the opportunity to do any kind of capacity building in terms of engineering, stop the road building business in the rain. Stop building road during reading season. It's not going to help you. I don't know how many times I'm going to tell you this. First of all, the roads in Monrovia, in the city of Monrovia, they don't have good drainage drainage process. So if it rains, water sit there, and then out of a sudden you try to cover it up. Yeah, you can succeed for now. But when the sun started sun beat, and that shiny animal, sun Samson too. When sun started beating on the asphalt, sun not shine on asphalt anymore, sun beat the asphalt. The real crime. Just spoke to you, my man. So blow. I just love it when I do that, folks. I love it. Oh my goodness. By the way, when the sun really start beating on the asphalt, and the water underneath the asphalt, evaporation wants to happen again. And once it finds little cracks, it comes out, that road is done. You're gonna have, no matter what you do, you're gonna have a pothole quick. Okay, and pothole, sometimes you have little crack that comes through, and it goes through whiny. It's with ways through. We have former minister Moore, former minister of public work Moore, Judy Moore, very smart, intelligent young man. But he told us one time when he went to the Capitol building that water love us concrete, and therefore since the Liberia have a good rainy season, he want to build concrete road. And I'm wondering to myself, does Judy Moore, and he should know better. Does he know what he talking about? Water love concrete. You know what he's thinking? The piers that support the bridges, they're in the water. Well, the mix design for concrete road, ridges road, it's not the same mix design they do for bridge piers and columns that is supporting the bridge standing in the water. The mix design is quite different. Okay, so if you drive to some of these concrete road, they have these little grooves. They call them tiny. They put these grooves in the intentionally. After they put the concrete down, they put these little grooves in there. You know why? Because they want water to stay out of that concrete. So don't tell me say water love concrete love water. Why you think they're trying to get the water to get away from the concrete road? They put these little grooves in there so the water sits in there, and then it goes with the slope anyway. So as you're driving, you don't have enough water sitting there and have hydroplane. My people. Okay, all right. All right, let me leave it as that. But I think there's the opportunity now that we're not going to be talking too much politics. I will take some time and do some more role. Because quite recently, I also did a road design in Liberia. I'm not going to tell you what company I did it for, or who I did it for, or what role. I'm not going to tell you that. But all I can tell you, I completed a complete design of a roadway and sent it to the folks back home. Okay, so I am involved. Okay, so, but anyway, let me get out of here. I want to thank all of you again this Friday evening. Please stay safe, stay safe, stay safe. It's almost 10 o'clock over there. Stay safe. Whatever you do tonight, don't drink and drive, please. Don't text and drive, please. And somebody said, I'm a young man. Well, if I can't drink, what do you want me to do? Well, I was young once. I did worse than that. Drinking, driving, that was my thing. But those days are over. Now when they catch you, the kind of punishment you will have, it will affect your family. It will affect your kids. It will affect everybody around you. So you want to stay out of those kinds of things. You're young, coming from Liberia, you're going to school doing well, but then put DUI on you. Now you can't even drive to school anymore. You can only go to work. You can't go places. You can't even take your kids to the park anymore driving. Anywhere you want to go, you want wife to take you now. Then the wife says, I tell you, don't drink. You listen to me. I'm going nowhere to that time. I don't get gas. Something too. Okay, folks, let me get out of here. I want to thank all of you again this evening for being with us. We appreciate it. It's been a wonderful, wonderful show. Tomorrow morning, please tune into my show where my son, Prince, and I will put a lot of pictures up for him. And you see how big my stomach is? I beg you, when I put his picture up tomorrow, you're going to be laughing at me. You're going to say, but why you can't be like your son? I beg you. You're going to leave my stomach alone. Because when I put the man picture out tomorrow, you will not believe it. You will not believe it. I mean, we're talking about bodybuilder. That's who he is. But yeah, me here with my, you know what. But anyway, let me let it go. He will be with my guest here tomorrow. Prince Toe will be my guest tomorrow. And this young man has done a wonderful job. He had a shoe line. And we will make sure to publicize that and promote that as much as possible. He has another friend who is a Bassa boy. He's now in Japan. He also had a clothing line. So we'll talk about all that tomorrow. These young people from Liberia, they're doing things to move themselves forward. They're not waiting for father and mother business. Forget it. They're not waiting for me. He's going. Samson told Liberia Public Radio, I want to thank all of you again. Say good night to all. I want to dance, but my forehead thing. Samson told, I'm making excuses. No, I'm not. Good night, folks.
la tu wazu we no ni wera. Ni wa so en so go ta mu fe o. To di ke fe ma de. So we be lo. Bébé Carré, les asco du soir le matin. La fino. Ase Idawe ma. Et Odi. Yala, Stéphanie. C'est de Côte d'Ivoire. Moi, ouais. Mon boko we danwe, on a te bo la tu wa so we no ni we la. Tota bi la di wa so en lo yo so ta mu pe o. Ya mo le pote wa o, peri ju so pote wa o. Ni mo te bi e ba mu. Ni pe ya mu so go iba ini. Boko we danwe o, wa ko e nyamu o. Boko we danwe saru wa ko e nyamu o. Nje blo yanju we ba ka Nigeria oda. Je nyongbe mo no Nigeria oda. We are going to Mambo Kawe, then we are going to
Je rappelle que non José que one of le yandai. Je suis échappé de fino de Kela. Le mettant un peu d'ail. Mon doudou est mon popo yabi de Rosette ne.
Kawe, then we are going to Kawe, then we are going to Mamandei lagio, ne se powenyo, ne se powenyo. I don't rifingio, ne se powenyo, ne se powenyo. Powadani, ne se pobe.
Bagno Julien.
Ibe onorigio, ne se powenyo.
Nyoma joya mwe bangu.
Kondu bruze, ne po abie. Kondu bruze, ne po abiga.
Martino de Martino.
Yes, I been there, is a powenyo.
Maman Diaye Florence. Son Catherine.
On get a day, Jenny, and just a powenyo.
Angèle Founé Bleka.
Anu bagba di legio, na popo ya bimbo.
Nana Colette.
Ah, na we anyo.
Mate Hélène. Tade Joséphine.
C'est on a we anyo, le ole. Ah, ole o. Yama abiga mwe, mwe wo.
Ah, maman Taylor.
Petit juzo na be, kwa mwe wo.
Ya kwe wana. Bagno Rufin.
Ola, ose bo be dani e. Me bonine lo ka e, te mu pa ye o.
Ça va de faire un vrai moment. Ok, petit du souké. Ça a bloqué.
Te oba.
Collègue, on s'attend
Tama abi mwe, kwa mwe wo. Anu sengu we mangio, ne se po we nyore.
Ah, Julie Théa.
Me o